there are two documents. Most of you have already got the practicing licenses. The certificate of registration is one, and you guard it jealously. But it is property of the board. So when it gets lost, they return it here. They return it here. Or if you are unethical and you're suspended, it is one of the tools that you'll first surrender until you're ethically right, then you get back that certificate. Even mine can be taken if I'm found wanting. So you'll be able to get that certificate. And I want to say that for the people who reach out to you and they want to put your names in the bids, I know of one of the great engineers here, Engineer Camillus. The World Bank may come to look for you. So if they take your certificate without your knowledge, please, you need to make the noise and write to the right places. Because we've seen some engineers, you know, when they lose these things, or if it is lost, please make to the nearest police station. Make sure you put a statement. Even that stamp that you have, the nearest police station, make sure you log a statement that your stamp got lost. Otherwise, when you don't make a statement and it is put on any document, we believe you put it by authorizing it. So those are some of the key things. We are doing this, taking oath. And so in the order that I'm going to read here as we start, one, I'm going to be able to read the names. But before all this goes on, we are in a period where people are fasting, the Christians and the Muslims. And so I want a volunteer from the engineers who are here to take us through a word of prayer, and then we proceed with every other thing. One volunteer. I want one of the engineers. Please, come. And you tell the people, engineer who and which discipline.
Is it afternoon? Yes. Good afternoon, engineers. I am Engineer Dr. Achidri Samuel, Civil and Structural Engineer by profession. Let's humble ourselves for prayer as Christians. Dear Heavenly Father, Jehovah God, we approach your throne of grace. We thank you for your mercies, the journey mercies. We thank you for the wisdom. We thank you for the gifts of the Holy Spirit that each one of us has exhibited. Above all else, we thank you that we have reached at this stage in our careers, in our lives, by your loving kindness and grace. Bless us and bless this institution of ERB, and also bless UIPE, and bless this country, Uganda, for God and my country. Through Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. I hope those who are Muslims, they agree with the prayer, or they would want to also have theirs, or we agree in the same. I just want to have consensus. I've seen some heads doing this. I take that as a yes. Yeah, so once again, you're most welcome. So one of the things that we are going to do today, we identify you by using your national identification number, the NIN. And so the forms that we are going to give you to fill in your details and sign, one of the things, we've already filled your names because we have them as per the correct record that you gave us, because these are the same names that we shall gazette. And so the only thing now we give you to fill in your national identification number is that by law, this is not something that you're supposed to give us as a mandatory document. You have the rights to that document. And so one of the things, you just need to pick either a soft copy, a hard copy, anything where you can be able to reach and retrieve your NIN, because you're going to fill it on this document, and then you'll be able to sign. There is a section where you're going to sign. Then eventually, the commissioner of oath will be able to sign, and then you'll be able to get your copy after that. So by order of how I'm going to read, that's how we've organized this. So you'll be able to just raise your hand, and then the ushers will reach you and bring this to you so that you can be able to feel it instead of making you move around. I don't want to trip people by the red carpet, yet they want to enjoy it. So just raise your arm, and the ushers will be able to reach you. And so In that order, I'll read names. And the first person is Ruzindana Bright Duncan. I think I saw him seated this side. Please kindly reach him. You've seen him? Then we have Chobe Jude Thaddeus. Chobe Jude Thaddeus. I've not yet seen him unless... Yeah, so we're going to have that put on the side. Then Barikowa Stephen. Please just raise your hand. Zimbe Pafla Bigambo. Please, you can, they're going to bring to you. I think I will need get a pen so that we're able to know the ones who've given and the ones who've left out. You can just pick a pen from any of our tables so that we're able to just note and we know which form we've put on the side there in the order. Just come here. No, you'll be taking it. Yeah, I need this Jude.
Can I just...
Number 2. Yeah, Esther. Then maybe just one announcement in case you need to be helped. The Secretariat staff, the team that I serve with, you'll be able to identify them with the T-shirt that I'm putting on. We have several of them. I have Hope, Joseph, and others who are at the registration table. So you can be able to inquire, or we have ushers who are in that neat uniform. You can be able to inquire from any one of us. Yeah, so feel free. Yeah, so we have Ntende Moses Joseph over there. Just over there. Then Nsamba Mwonge Hamdan. Welcome back from across the borders. Then we have Chitaka Michael. Please, as you take, confirm that the name is the one. You may take a different one. Then we have Musinguzi Daniel. Musinguzi Daniel. I think he's not yet here. Karamira James, I've seen him. Urihe? He's over there. I saw, then we have Chizito Bruce over there. Chalimpa Brand Chisembo. Chalimpa Brand Chisembo, I think I've not yet seen him. He's not yet here. We can put it on the side. Just take note here. Mujisha Dominic Mark. Mujisha Dominic Mark. Okay, we can mark. Yesterday, someone who did not turn up was called anxious. Now, Mugisha Dominic Mark, I'll mark him for not coming. So, Wambete Job, over there. Dr. Kangwaje Samuel, over there. Sendagire John Paul, over there. Kwichiriza Derek. Derek Kwichiriza is not here. We can. Okech Innocent, over there. Mutiaba George William. Mutiaba George William, over there. Juko Elias Yassin. Dr. Okrut Kenan, he's a senior lecturer, he's there. Tukamwachira Godfrey, I think he's not present. Aji Omagol Brand. Aji Omagol Brand is not here. Byamukama Richard is over there. Mwije Philmon, I've seen him. Rutaya Ronald is there. Harera James Byaruhanga. Sekabemba Umaru. Rwabogo Joselyn Rwakakoko. The electrical engineer, you're welcome. Kusemererwa Charles. Kanyerezi Nicholas. You've seen Nicholas over there. Mugoya Peterson. Mugoya Peterson. Bukenya Ismail. Tenywa Emmanuel, I saw him. Tenywa, where are you seated? Oh, yes. Dr. Tumwes J. Emmanuel. Arishaba Agre. Arishaba Agre is there. Nanyunja Habiba Sulaiman. Nanyunja Habiba. Kabuye Enos. Kabuye Enos is over there at the back. Kasumba Dennis. Wamboga Abraham. Semuga John Paul. Semuga John Paul. Omoding Stephen. Sally Ismail. Sally Ismail. Kasana Kasim. Kasim is over here. Basajja Ansolo Patrick Kabito. Webale Benon. Odoi Philmon Powili. Odoi Philmon. Best J. Enoth. Muhumza Tom. Muhumza Tom, we've given him. Matovu Chiza Ronald. Gumisiriza Martin, my namesake, is over there. No, he's not around. No. Yeah, he's not around. Gumisiriza Martin is over there. Okay. Dr. Akrut Mary. Oh, they are bringing to you. Dr. Akrut Mary, she's over there. Just raise your arm. They are going to serve you. Emuna Chance Daniel. Emuna Chance Daniel. Semfuka Godfrey. Okelo Joseph Moses. Okelo Joseph Moses. Sankara James. Sankara James is over there. Tugume Nicholas. Tugume Nicholas. Abaganyire Sylvia. She's over there. Kusemererwa Stephen. Omnyokol Omongin Moses. I hope he's not working on the Ginger Road today. Yeah, please. Omnyokol. Chisule Henry Simon. Chisule is not here. Yes, please, once you fill in your name. Fill in your name, get your pen and fill in your name. And then the part of signing is very easy. That should be very easy. But don't sign on the part for the commissioner of oath. Yes. But just make sure you fill in your name so that you're not trying to gamble later. That's why you take, as we read, you can just get your name from the pocket or from your phone. Now it is a digital age. No. Don't put the date. Only sign and the name. Those are the two instructions I gave. Someone has already put the date. Duncan is very fast. But it is okay. It is okay. Just as long as you put the right one. As long as you put the right one, eh? Yes, I know Duncan. We have His Worship, the Registrar of Engineers Registration Board, Engineer Ronald Namugera, who is here. You're most welcome. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, so Chisule Henry, I think, is not yet here. Mashul Tushal Narandas. Angura Robinson. Semukutu Shil Anita. I think she's still regulating the electricity. Okoti Johnson. Nabisere Rora Mulondo. Nabisere. She's over there. Wasige Richard. Is here. Luyimbazi Humphrey Nicholas. Okay. Engineer Chalimpa Brand Chisembo, you're welcome. Once you sit, they're going to bring the form to you. Ask your neighbor on the instructions. It's a check for you to sign, eh? Have you seen Nicholas? Okay, let's mark. Oketayot Patrick. Muleme Isaac. Over there in the uniform. Tuswata Elvis. Somewhere there near the DJ. Council, you're most welcome. Kasule David, let's welcome the chairman of the Engineers Registration Board, Professor Henry Adinaitwe Mwanaki, you're most welcome. And Council Angela Kobel, you're most welcome, the Commissioner of Oath for today. Kasule David. Okay. Kato Joseph Haman. Over there, ahead. Mwesje Godwin Tayebwa. Here. Kamba Alan. Engineer Kamba Alan. Engineer Mugema Frank. Engineer is still in maybe under Louis fixing the road. He should be here. Engineer Betungura Arnold. Ahead there. Rendeire Andrew. Rendeire Andrew. Okay. Let's also welcome the Vice Chairperson of the board, Engineer Patricia Achola Ochan, who is with us. You're most welcome. Engineer Tudiachira Andrew. He's seated somewhere there. I thought you're still fixing some things. Engineer Okelo Daniel. What is happening with the generators of electricity? Engineer Mbubanji's Aloysius. Engineer Mbubanji's Aloysius. Andrew, is Aloysius here? Okay, he's not yet here. Tumwijuche Cosmas. Okay. Yeko Karo. Over there. Yeko Karo. Nabagala Sisi, I saw her around. Seruyange Livingstone Kato. Seruyange Livingstone Kato, over there. Akugiziwe Alan Timothy. Akugiziwe Alan Timothy. Semvuma Edward. Semvuma Edward, over there. Dr. Chidri Samuel. Namuswa Victoria Florence. Namuswa Victoria Florence. Florence is not yet here. I'm just going to read again just a few, some of you who have come. Chobe Jude Thaddeus. Yeah, he has arrived in the corner. We can now drive to Matuga safely. Thank you. Chobe, yes, Chobe. Now, Chobe, you're going to pick yours from the registration table. Yeah, just there on the registration table. Because, yeah, it's still in order, just there. Batha, you could give maybe one of the ushers, the one for Jude. Jude, Chobe, Jude Thaddeus. It is the first one on the list. Yeah. You're the first one. They are the ones I'm reading again. Yeah. Musingus Daniel. Daniel Musingus. Chalimpa Brand Chisembo. You can Hope, the one for Chalimpa Brand Chisembo. It is number 3 in those forms. Mugisha Dominic Mark. He has not yet come still. Oh, he's around. The one for Mugisha Dominic Mark. He's inside here. Someone pick it. So you take Chove. Yes. Chalimpa has got his. You take. Even Mark has got his. Kwichiriza Derek. Kwichiriza Derek. Agi Omagol Brand. Agi Omagol Brand is not yet here. Mugoya Peterson. Nanyunja Habiba Sulaiman. She has come. Nanyunja Habiba Sulaiman. In the corner. Odoi Filmon. Odoi Filmon has come. Batha Odoi Filmon. Matovuchiza Ronald. Matovuchiza Ronald. Emuna Chance Daniel. Not yet here. Tugume Nicholas. Omnyokol Omongin Moses. Oh, finally you're here. Omnyokol. Chisule Henry Simon. Oh, finally he's here. Chisule Henry Simon is here. Hope. 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 Get him a seat, please. Angura Robinson. Okay. We have Rabon Alek Abraham. Owino Stephen. Tugumisirize Eldad. Kinyera Kamila Skem is over there. Kisoro Samuel. Tuliasingura Medad. The doctor in waiting. Akelo Charlotte. At the back. Bianguye Ivan. Over there. Mutale Peter. Mutale Peter at the back. Egesa Davis. Egesa Davis over there. Kakuru Paulu. Kakuru Paulu is here. Here. Hope Stella. Hope Stella over there. The ushers, we are going to be moving a little faster. Bonyoko Ngobi Painento. Musime Prosper Vans. Musime Prosper Vans. Ojik Sunday. Orijabo Albert. Mutabazi Twajira Peterson. Mutabazi Twajira Peterson. Babayo Shafik. There's something special about this tent. Katamba Raymond. Katamba Raymond. Namutete Pius. Namutete Pius. Over there. In the corner. Please just put your arms at. Magulu John Baptist. Magulu John Baptist is over there. Just keep your hand. Mohanji Robert. Mohanji Robert. Over there. Dr. Msings Wilson Babu. The man from the mountains of the moon. Mukabia Robert. Mukabia Robert. Ankunda Jime. Ankunda Jime. Namugwe Marianne. Just keep the hand. Kemigisha Joan. Kemigisha Joan. Pass. Omara Walter Lewis. Rukundo Kenneth is seated somewhere there. Abonga Alfred Alexis. Arinaitwa Wenceslas. Asimwe Joshua. Asimwe Joshua in the same. Yes. Mugisa Augustine Mubangizi. Bukira Winfred. Bukira Winfred. Atwine Geraldine Elizabeth. Elizabeth. Ahura Albert. Ahura Albert. Matov John, I've seen you around. Just raise your arm. Irumba Oscar. Irumba Oscar is over there. Okeni David. Okeni David. Pass. Yongule Justus. Yongule Justus. Lomiro Calvin Doani. Ayabaziwe Bless. Dushime Derek Zungu. Nyakwera Rusi, the same tent at the back. Just raise your arm. Semakula Abraham. Juko Adrian. Owini John Paul. Banafam Ian. Barun Eugene. Eugene in the same direction. Chohire Jenfa. Tukahira Gerazio. Tukahira Gerazio. Pass. Gena Andrew. Gena Andrew is over there. There. Just raise your arm. Oyidu Simon Peter. Oyidu Simon Peter. Nshemerire Anita. Nshemerire Anita at the back. Seguja Paul. Seguja Paul. Mugejera Abel. Ariong Francis. Obonyo Luke. Obonyo Luke. Akankwasa Dennis. Akankwasa Dennis over there. Orotho Angela. Achiro-chan. Ouga Alan Dickens is just here. Ahereza Gilbert. Gilbert Ahereza in the corner. Tugume Elson Bob. Andama Roland Biletti. There. Mafabi Grace. Aguma Tom Edward. I saw Aguma around. Kakoto Dennis, I saw him. Masamba Pinto. Nelima Anita. Kobugabe Brenda. Just there. Kobugayo Brenda, just keep the arm. Mbigo Nicholas. Mbigo Nicholas. In the corner. Ndikubwimana Agre. Bwambale Jonathan. Gira Augustine. Chigozi Brian Michael. Ochakachon Simon. Here. Mubiru David. Kamkama Ivan is also in that direction. Mubiru, just keep your hand. Mubiru is at the back. Kamkama Ivan is also in that same direction. Matovu Muonge Ronald is in the same direction.
Sorry, what? Sorry, hold on.
This is good.
No, hold on. That's just one.
And it's with this one. Go with this. Muonge is in the same place. Maseruka Michael James. Maseruka Michael James. Lukwago Brian. Lukwago Brian over there. Mufti Mukiza Emmanuel. Emmanuel Mufti Mukiza at the back. Naika Richard Basime. Abeneitwe Felbert. Abeneitwe Felbert. In the corner here. Bido Frank. Bido Frank is there. Nafula Grace Manjeri. Lubwama Daudi is just there. Wokorach Stephen. Wokorach Stephen. Acheru Emmanuel. Emmanuel is over there. Acheru Emmanuel. Yakozire Julius Plaka. Namutebi Lilian. Across. Lumala Apollo. Lumala Apollo. Serunjo Jinasa. Odware Stephen. Odwara 2. Sechisaka John Paul. Sechisaka John Paul. Oki Robert. Oki Robert. Gwaivu Abi. Gwaivu Abi is there. Ochen Charles is also seated there in front. Just raise them. Alinga Sistolo Dukan. Dr. Igaviani Andrew. Tuliamureba Chris. Tuliamureba Chris. Olinga Peter. Mukonyezi Isaac. Mukonyezi Isaac. Sebitosi David. David is seated at the back. Waiswa Ronald. Waiswa. Basika Elisa. Basika Elisa is just over there. Sonko Ernest. Sonko Ernest. Akorio Ibrahim Majembe. Juko Najib. Juko Najib is over there. Tugume Shiba Msimenta over here. Kaba Wycliffe over there. Kakuru Richard. Chakwade Robert. Chakwade Robert. Okero Emmanuel Anam. Okero Emmanuel Anam. Otim Alvin. Atukunda Alex. Atkunda Alex is there. Segirinya Charles Ruanga. This is my classmate for 6 years. Nkakalukanyi Silas. Ahebwa Crinard is seated near the DJ's box. Segawa Richard Joel at the back, just in front. Aremo Andrew Alele here. Bujingo Doreen Gift. I thought you were still stuck in a phone call, but glad you're here. Dongo Isaiah Frederick. Tumsime John Bosco. Ahead. Musobo Joseph Bukose. Seated in front. Timbe Joseph Bwayo, near the DJ's box. Dr. Menya Emmanuel, at the back. Ocho Paul Joram. Is Joram already here? Yeah, I'll just redirect here just to save time. Kamba Alan. Mugema Frank. He has arrived. Okero Daniel. He has come also. Mubanjiza Lozias. Akugizibwe Alan Timothy. Namuswa Victoria Florence. Musime Prosper Vans. Pass. Mutabazi Twajira Peterson. Katamba Raymond. Ankunda Jime. Kemigisha Joan. Atwine Geraldine Elizabeth. Ahura Albert. Oken David. Yongule Justus. Tukahirwa Gerazio. Oidu Simon Peter. Ocho Paul Joram. We can pass them. So whoever is here and you don't have your forms, please feel free to reach out to the registration table and you'll be able to log them in. And now that we have... So still, like I told you on that form, please make sure you fill your NIN, National Identification Number. You can be able to reach it if you have the hard copy, the soft copy on your phone. Make sure you fill that. And then the date, make sure you don't copy from the neighbor if he has a wrong date. Just confirm that it is the date of today. And don't sign on the part for the commissioner of oath. And make sure you have 2 forms. Make sure that the forms you have are 2. Confirm that your names are the ones which are on that form. If there is any mistake, please reach out. Don't sign when there is a mistake. I think Tushar has also come. He has his form. Okay. Yeah, so I think we shall now proceed with our program and we shall welcome none other than His Worship, the Registrar of the Engineers Registration Board, to take us to the next part. His Worship, you're most welcome.
Thank you, Ezra. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm always happy to be here with engineers. I've been here on oath for a few times. And like the minister was saying, we are still around for a bit longer. So I might also stay around for a bit longer. But welcome. Today you are the chief guests. I think when you go through that process, which some of you don't like very much. It's a bit rigorous. Today we are all equals, and today is your day. So can you clap for yourselves? So I welcome you to this oath-taking ceremony, which is now part of our law. Among the things you need to do, you must take oath for you to practice engineering in Uganda. Our legal counsel will take us through the responsibilities. Of course, she will threaten you a bit, but those threats actually can come to bite. But you're welcome. I'm happy to see all of you. I didn't know that engineers can be very smart, like this. Is that Mr. Akorio? Can you please stand up? Can you believe this man is from Karamoja and is a district engineer? So how many district engineers do we have? I know our chairman, you attended one of the workshops, and I told you we are really looking for DEs. How many DEs do we have in the congregation today? How many? Can we please stand up for chairman to recognize you? Hey, I think you can come forward and take the first photo with his worship, the registrar. All DEs come, and this photo has to go to Ministry of Lands. All DEs, let us first take a photo as part of my speech. And most of them are my friends, but I don't know this one. No, I know he's from Kisoro. Okay. Kanungu. Ah. Chairman, I think you can see we have quite a number of DEs. Cameraman. This one is also from Nakapiripirit. You are from? You are from near. He's from Kopchora. This one is from Napak. Hey, we have how many Karamajong? Karamajong are registering, and we have some people here in Central are not registering. So, Chairman, you see this harvest of DEs. Thank you. Please, you can have your seat. Yesterday at the conference, I think the deputy speaker didn't have very kind words for you. So also as ERB, we want to make sure that we put professional DEs in those jobs. I was also not very kind when I was given a chance to talk on the TV. I said most of the DEs get jobs either because you are a cousin to the chairman, you are a campaigning agent, you know, those things. But I said we want professional DEs, people who are registered with us. So I congratulate you, DEs, for achieving this. And we need to build and have all DEs in the districts registered. I know you are now registered engineers and you are feeling very proud. And it is okay to feel proud. And you should keep proud and be smart. I know some engineers, when they get registered, they get a second wife. Now, me, I've been around for some time. I want to discourage you. Do not get a second wife. The registration is for practice. But of course, now you can be in the district. When you go to a Marwa joint, when you sit, you can sit like my friend here, Korio. You know, you can, it is called what? You can do that. But if you are not yet registered, or you see someone not registered, and they sit like this, or they even pocket, you cannot pocket until you are registered. So registration is a big achievement, and I know now in the everywhere you work, your workplace, your districts, everywhere you should be now respected. But also you, as a registered engineer, after taking this oath, you should be different. Don't be the way you were before. Don't be pushed around. Me, I can't be pushed. Is there anyone who has tried to push me amongst you and managed? You cannot be pushed. Don't allow to be pushed. Especially DEs. I think the district, they push you. They shouldn't push you. Now you have a responsibility, and ERB is also watching. You know our mandate as ERB? We register you, we regulate you, we control you, but we also deregister you. The registration happens. So please avoid getting that trap. Don't allow us to register you, because actually it's also part of our work. We are registered today. We are going to continue practicing. And in most cases, when you're registered, if there is anything in the district or at your workplace or at your project, they'll say we have an engineer. Please come and give us your opinion. As an engineer, you're expected to know everything. At least you should have a fair knowledge about everything. It is very embarrassing, and normally the president does it for engineers. Say, okay, engineer, let the engineer come and explain this. The man is not an engineer. They call you on a microphone. You come and say, I'm engineer Oketayot Patrick. On the issue of the flooding, Your Excellency, when it rained, then the water comes, but when it is from the, you start talking like an artist, you know? You're supposed to talk about things like catchment area. Eh? Take the people through what you know. So you need continuous professional development. Don't go on these functions and talk like artists. We should be able to distinguish between an engineer and an artist. Even in your reports, I used to read some reports of district engineers. I'll not name them. You write a report to road fund, and you're wondering, was this written by a secretary or an engineer? And some of you sign them. So now that you're registered, you'll get embarrassed, you'll get ashamed when these reports come to us. Now, we have registered you and you are many. But we want to multiply. As engineers, we are still few. We expect each of you to mentor someone. Some of you have been mentored. But some of you are selfish. But when you are selfish, you don't get nice things. You see me, I've been here for 10 years. I think because I'm not selfish, I've mentored a few of you. I've mentored a few of you, even ladies. I think the latest one I met and I pushed through registration, Gift. Is Gift here? So mentor others, support them, let them register. The more numbers we have is the more responsibility we get, and then the more they'll know that we are a big force. There is an engineer here who is the owner of UBM 357B. You are blocking the registrar's car. UBM 357B. You are blocking the registrar's car. Can you move your car? Please, then you come back. I was talking about continuous professional development. Since we are going to mentor people, we also need to inspire them. You don't want to be your mentee to start doubting you. You know, inspire them and we mentor them, but keep learning so that when you are called upon to say anything at a function, you talk as an engineer, informed, and able to be confident and talk with authority. There's the issue of ethics. We are supposed to be ethical. When they talk about corruption, when they talk about everything, somehow engineering works come in. As a registered engineer, we don't expect you to be not to be ethical. We have our code of ethics. I hope you have read it. Let us be ethical. Let us do good work so that they also praise us. We know that the biggest thieves are lawyers. So let us not take that away from them. I'm not saying you. I'm saying other lawyers, madam. Not you, but the others. We need to keep ourselves clean. We shouldn't be put in that category. Then I want to also talk about the MRA, the Mutual Recognition Agreement. We are in that agreement as Uganda. So we have a market of 8 countries. Let us sell our services across East Africa. So let us sell our services in the region. Sometimes you feel a bit unhappy or uneasy when you see in Uganda here, I see so many Ethiopians on our projects. I don't know that you see them. They are normally in materials engineering. Also some Kenyans come here. But when you go out there, you struggle to find any Ugandans doing those jobs. So let us sell ourselves. We need to show that we can do these things. And since we have got good training, we should be able to also compete and take up that market. Let us not allow others to come and take our market while for us we are here sitting. UIPE, I hope you are here. I don't know that the president came, sent a representative. You know, our registration starts with UIPE. They help us to train you, help you to write reports, then you apply. So UIP, we are happy you came, and we shall call you to say something in 1 minute, but not now. So I want to thank you for coming today and getting registered. I've shared a few insights, but we can keep talking. We can keep talking. We have our groups. Don't be so quiet on some of these groups. If there is a topic that is being discussed and you are an authority, please come up. When we write to you requesting you either to make a paper, to mentor someone, make a presentation, represent us on boards, please be available. NBRB even passed a new law. I think they need us to nominate. There are so many places where we need to nominate. And for ladies, you are very few. We have been circulating the same ladies. So we need you to be active. Some ladies don't want to sit in the front. When we want to send you, you have so many reasons. But let us be active. Let ladies be available, and we send you on these boards. So today's oath. Today's oath is going to be done by a commissioner for oath. She'll take you through what is required of you. But the process will be, the registrar will be reading your name using his mouth. Then I hand you over to the lawyers, or they want to read. We are going to discuss with them. But we are going to hand you over to them. They just do oath and they go away. Their business stops at doing oath. The other technical work is ours. And the lawyers have insisted. You know, they always look for, even where we don't need them, somehow, they look for something to do for us. So you are taking oath of engineers. Do we go and commission oath for lawyers to go and practice? Why do they come in our things? But we shall discuss that another day when they are not here. But thanks for coming. Thanks for being very smart. Keep being smart. Some of you are only smart today. Then when you go back, where do you put your clothes? Let us try to maintain smartness. Even engineers can be smart. We are not always on sites or in the field. Once in a while, be smart. But I have seen many of you who have new suits, bought yesterday, put on today. After that, they are going to be shelved. We are going to stop that practice. But thanks for coming. Thanks for listening to me. Allow me now to call a representative from UIPE. Come and say something, then we shall continue the program. Thanks for coming, and I love you all. But I love ladies most. I must insist. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Registrar. The Chairman, ERB, protocol observed. My name is Engineer Julius Caesar Chintu. I'm representing the Secretariat at UIPE. I'm happy to see all of you here. And the work you started with UIPE, it is bearing fruit. Now you had responsibility. I don't know what you have now going forward. You have actionable responsibility. Whatever you're going to be doing, you have now two entities that will be watching over you and wishing you well. That is the Ugandan Institution of Professional Engineers and the Registration Board. And also the reverse is true. If you are not moving well, at least now you have somebody, you have a traffic officer to say, engineer so and so, please, you are checked, or come and be checked. But that said, the mentorship, I've seen the new ERB strategy, 5,000 by 2030. And we are here at the father, UIP is the son. So for ERB to achieve 5,000, 2030, the effort at UIPE will be doubled and we shall achieve it. But it starts with you mentoring at least 4 younger ones. Please allow our young ones to be on the project. District engineers, you're welcome, but allow our young ones to practice. Thank you very much. I send greetings from Engineer Bosco Repi and the Executive Secretary, Immaculate Mako. They are very happy for this function. Thank you very much, Registrar.
Thank you, Rep from UIP. Did you clap for me? I don't remember whether they clapped for me. Now that you have clapped, I'm going to invite my Vice Chairman of the board to greet you and say some good words.
Thank you. Mine is to greet. Julius has said something about being under the watchful eye. It is you're a distinguished guest, so we're happy to have you here. And by getting to this point in time, we are now not inviting you to a suspicious occasion, but an auspicious one. By taking this oath, it's not just an achievement, but it is also you're bringing yourself into the fold, into a watchful eye. For those who have walked the journey with, I keep telling you that you are marketing yourself, you are pitching yourself by presenting that project. You are putting yourself as an expert in that field. So anything that goes wrong, you're answerable. but it is also for you to be an example to the younger engineers that are coming through. So even as you've gone through this process, you need to realize that engineering is not just about calculations or machines or structures, but it is about now being taken, being in the society is trusting you with your skill to yesterday's theme was about a sustainable future. So we need to have things that are sustainable. You're not going to build it today and throw it away tomorrow. In UDCL, we used to talk about the fact that years later, your grandchild might come and say, hey, grandmother, grandfather, you built very poor lines. So your legacy should follow after you. What you do should speak for you more than your words should speak for you. So my prayer is that you'll use your skills not just to build structures and systems, but also to build a safer and more sustainable world. So congratulations, and may you honor this oath in both word and action. Congratulations. So let me invite our chair to come and say a few words to us.
Thank you very much, my colleague, Engineer Ochan, the Vice Chair of the Engineers Registration Board. The Commissioner for Oath, Madam, the Registrar of ERB. I know you are quickly calling yourself His Worship, but you can be held for, misrepresentation and other things. So, fellow engineers, you are the chief guests this afternoon. Let's congratulate ourselves by clapping. So congratulations. It's a pleasure for me to be here to participate in your oath taking. I know I've looked at many of your names because they have gone through our committees, but for today I'm also putting some faces onto the names. Of course, there are those that I also know, because some of you have known that I've been in engineering education for many years. The extent I was even principal of the College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology at Makerere University for 10 years. So I know some of you, like my colleague, Dr. Musingu is there. Kind of stand up. He was my member of staff. Now he's somewhere, a big man. I know he was my student, Ouga, Engineer Ouga. He was my student. I supervised him at master's level. I see my friend here, Brown. Brown, you stand also. the name is different from from the face, but he's called Brown, and he's very comfortable calling himself Brown. So don't make a mistake and call him Black. He's Brown. So I know some of you. So it gives me much pleasure, therefore, to associate with you. Congratulations once again. So it's good to have a new title, before your name, Engineer so and so. And like the Registrar has already said, it feels nice to be addressed, especially when you are freshly registered, to feel that honor. I remember when I just gotten a PhD, I would go someone calls me Mr. and I would feel offended. Even when they don't know me. It's as if the whole world had known that I'd gotten a PhD, so therefore they should address me as doctor. But you realize later that many people, of course, don't know you. And so they will address you as Mr., as Miss, or as even you child. But accept it, that's the world, that's the way we are. So, with that recognition, feel proud, but also deliver quality. Deliver quality, so that the name, the title, reflects what you are. So that title comes with responsibility. The lawyers will tell you, at the time we were in court, and of course there were witnesses and whatever, then the lawyers were asking. I was on one side representing a party, and on the other side there was someone calling himself an engineer, and the lawyer actually insisted, said, are you registered? You give us your registration number. Then the other guy didn't have. And then, of course, later, they said this man is not fit to be here. Because according to law, at least regarding that aspect, you should have been a registered, credible engineer. So if you are not registered, then you don't appear in court. Not so, madam. Yeah. So you know that now you can actually able to represent your clients as engineers and give your account, give your testimonial, give your evidence as a registered engineer. So kindly, let's use our profession well, ethical. Let's be ethical in all that we are doing. The term ethical is easy to pronounce, but at times hard to implement. And you know, in Uganda, we have more or less publicly confessed that we are corrupt. Because even the other day, even the president, even yesterday, I think the president was talking about corruption. The other time there was a march in town where they were saying, now no more corruption. But then the following day, the headline was that the people walked were the most corrupt. That's what the headline was saying. So who is going to fight corruption? And you know, it's all of us. So let's be professional in our work. Professional means that you should be systematic. There should be evidence. Whatever you are doing should be traceable. There should be accountability. That's what profession is about. And then also let's demonstrate competence. You have engineers in different fields, maybe practicing in different areas. But even when you don't know something, you need to go back and also consult. Don't get tired of consulting books. Don't just say, I'll design this from my head and I deliver. Once you're in practice, you also have to keep going back to books, like us in the academic world. You know, every day you must read something. You must reflect on something. And then, of course, you know our mandate as ERB, which the registrar has in a way talked about, is one to register people, and that we have done with you, and want to register many more. You heard yesterday I was talking about, I was comparing our numbers here in Uganda with those in the sister countries, Kenya and Tanzania. They have very big numbers. In Tanzania, they have more than 40,000 registered engineers. Here, we only have 2,000. I'm sure some of you have seen the latest numbers that are coming out. The newly registered, like you see the numbers on the number plates for cars, I think it's only about 2,200 or thereabout. So that's the number. So we need to mentor many more. We need to make sure that and you know, these days the numbers that are coming out of the university are increasing. It's not like our days. In our days when I graduated, my university was the only university in Uganda, of course. And even our class, the numbers were very small. The whole of civil engineering class were about 20 students graduating. But these days, there are many more. Worse still, that time, there were no girls. That's why I'm at times rough, because I didn't interact so much with girls to tame me. That's why I'm a bit rough. So let's register more. 2 is to regulate and control the practice of engineering. That's our work as the board. So I want to call upon you, wherever you are, that when there are things that are not going well, and at times you fear to approach the powers that be your supervisors, your district engineer, district supervisors and so on, ministry supervisors, you could also use the channel of going through us as a board, since we regulate and control, that you can be like a whistleblower, you bring the matter to us, and then we pursue it. For us, whether it is the minister, or even our appointing authority, we can write and challenge him and say, this is not okay. So kindly, let's contribute that way. So let's regulate and control together, and also advise government. That's the other main mandate of ours, to advise government. So we have written a number of advisories. Some have been taken, others maybe not so much, others may be disregarded altogether, but at least we are supposed to advise government. So let's keep doing that. the engineering practice is a noble profession in the sense that when you look at the activities in Uganda, you look at our budgets for ministries, budgets for many entities, most of the money, apart from the wages, most of the money goes to infrastructure. Is that true or false? Like when you look at the Uganda government budget and you try to decompose it, Minister of Health, Minister of Education, Minister of, you find that a majority or big part goes to infrastructure. Buildings, of course, roads, equipment, and most of those procurements are handled by engineers or through engineers. We are the ones who give the specifications. We are the ones that supervise. So it means, therefore, that we need to do much better to improve the status of delivery in the country. It also means that in many ways we are part of the bad things. The corruption I was talking about, the poor delivery, because we do not adhere to what we have specified. I remember one minister was giving a joke and saying, at times when, like those who are working on roads, they give specifications, maybe we shall put 3 layers of this, and then someone was saying one of the layers will be for somebody, and another layer for another person, and then we end up with only 1 layer. So the other 2 layers are what? Are eaten. 2 layers of bitumen are eaten. So that means that we're also party to all that bad dealing. I don't want to discourage you, but feel proud as engineers. Let's continue to deliver for our country. Uganda will be much better if all of us align and deliver properly. And many countries, like I said yesterday, countries that have developed have put a lot of emphasis on engineering, of course, and accountability. If you look at countries like South Korea, a lot of engineering, but also a lot of accountability. Even the same thing with China now. A lot of emphasis is on engineering. Producing more than 1.5 million engineers every year. When for us we're talking about registering only 2,000, over 50 years. Over 50 years. So I don't want to take control of our time. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I feel happy that you are registered. So adding on the numbers, let's keep mentoring and adding more and more so that we achieve our overall gain as a country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The chairman deserves another hand clap. We are now going to go into the business. So I'll invite the council. Not yet council, I'll invite you. I said I'll invite the council. But I want to invite, there are some people I think I need you people to see. I don't know whether you'll appreciate them or you won't. There is a lady in UIPE called Benna. Benna, where are you? Come here. Most of you, your books, I think they started there. That Benna. She works for UIPE. She's among the people who support this process. I am happy you have appreciated her. You also come and stand near the registrar. Hey, you have always wanted to hug him. You see? So there is another lady called Bertha Natukunda. Can you please come here? So these are the people who help us with receiving your applications, processing them, giving you the first checklist. This one is at ERB, and this one is at UIPE. So thanks for appreciating them. Then, is Regina also here? Regina, is Regina here? Regina, if you are there. I think now they mostly interact with you. That's why Regina is. But Regina, I think it's her and Regina, they work in the same office. Then she's our registration officer. So these are the faces who support that process so that you have gotten to where you are. So thanks for supporting this process. Can you wave and go back? You are not going to make a speech. but you have got a hug from the registrar. You have always wanted it. So, chairman and members, our guests who are our new registered engineers, I'm now going to invite her worship. I'm going to invite Council Angela Cobell to take us through the next part. So we shall support her and go through this part. Angela, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to thank ERB. I thank the board members. I thank the registrar. And I need to caution him, he does not have a degree in law. Neither does he have any qualification in law that would warrant him to be called whatever he wants to be called today. But I thank you all for coming. I am Angela Cobell. I'm a commissioner for oaths and an advocate. I have practiced for 16 years, and I've been a commissioner for 15. I'm very glad and I've appreciated attending this ceremony. This is my second time. And it gives me joy to see that professionals are trying, some are actually trying to bind themselves to the process. Now, all of you could be holding a blue document, whereas what is inscribed there seems simple words. Those words have a legal bearing on yourselves as a professional and what you say you are undertaking to do. So I want to briefly explain what the purpose of this ceremony is, all right? In addition to that document. So that document is a legal document that would verify, and by appending your signature to it, you're verifying the authenticity of that information. So it's key that you read it and understand it. If there is anything to it that you think you cannot agree to, you would rather not sign it because there are implications of appending your signature to that document, okay? This process helps bind your conscience to the accuracy of the information in it, hence the need to read it and understand it. Now, an oath, because what you're holding is an oath, and this oath serves to legally and ethically bind you to the institutional policies of your profession, okay? It symbolizes that you will act truthfully and with integrity. It will create accountability, and in this sense, the accountability is both to the institution as well as to the public. The professions that usually sign those documents are professions that deal with the public on a daily basis. So you'll find doctors, you'll find lawyers, you'll find people in the financial institutions, and it is purely to say that we are accountable to you as well as a public, that we shall do our work as diligently and as ethically as possible, okay? That document also upholds your professional and ethical standards. So when I continuously say, please read it, it creates an entry of trust between yourselves, the public, and the institution that you are accountable to, okay? Secondly, it also strengthens the confidence between yourselves, the institution, and the public. The chairman gave a scenario of a court process, and indeed, most of the evidence is dropped, however good and accurate it is. If you have not registered with the entity that you speak of, a medical practitioner, if they come to speak on something, the first thing is identify yourself. And you identify yourself as Angela Cobell, a lawyer. Registration number is this, this, and this. All right? So, and this is part of completion of your registration process. So I kindly urge all of you to kindly look at it. It has a stamp, but it have not yet endorsed it until you append your signature to it. So how the process is going to happen, because of the number of people, the registrar will call out 10. The Muslims will hold the Quran, and the Catholics or the other faiths will have a Bible. Because of the number of people, I need each one of you to state your name, leave out the NIN number, but each one will individually state their name all through the line of the 20 people. Then in a chorus form, you shall read paragraph 1 till the end, and then you declare. I'll expect both those documents to be given back to my assistant, and I endorse them. That means you have agreed to whatever is contained therein. Your signed copies will be picked up from the registration desk. Another thing that you need to know, for purposes of evidence, the duty is on you to register that document. It is not on the board. It is not on the registrar. The registration fee is just 15,000. You upload it, you pay 15,000 is stamp duty plus registration, and you always have a registered copy with you. As I said, it is for evidence purposes. It is not mandatory, but in the event that a dispute arose and you need that document, you have to have registered it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angela. I hope she was very clear and you are not scared. You know, these lawyers, when they talk, they can scare you. I think it's part of their training. So we are going to get 2020 so that we can get through this very fast. So, Madam Lawyer, I'll sit down and read them. Those are the ones we are going to swear. So you can take your assistant. So at Highway, Hilary Damin. So when I read your name, you come here. Those who are ready, I think she has said you should read. If you are not ready to take this oath, those who are not ready, you can declare now and say, me, I'm not signing this thing. This thing is going to bind me. You can leave. So at Highway, Hilary, Kiria Simon, Rosindana Bright Duncan, Chobe Jude Thaddeus, Balikowa Stephen, Zimbe Pafla, Ntende Moses Joseph, Nsamba Muwonge Hamdan, Kitaka Michael, Musinguzi Daniel, Kiramira James, Kizito Bruce, Chalimpa Brian, Mugisa Dominic, Wambete Job, Dr. Kangwaje Samuel, Sendagire John Paul, Kwikiriza Derek, Okech, and don't fear stepping on the red carpet. You can also step on the red carpet. Kwikiriza Derek, Okech Innocent, Mutiaba George William. So after here, when you finish here, we shall allow you to shake the hand of the chairman and the registrar. Then you'll go to the other table and also get your registration certificate. So you can proceed. Is there any Muslim here? No? Bashir, sit on the mic.
Let's spread out in one line.
Bring that one.
No? I'll bring a mic to you and you say your name out loud, yeah? Say I, then your name.
I, Chobe Jude Thaddeus. I, Chizito Bruce.
I, Dr. Kangwaje Samuel.
I, Karamira James.
I, Chalimba Brian.
I, Chitaka Michael.
I, Zimbepa Flavigambo.
I, Rosindana Bright Duncan.
I, Atoire Hilary Dami.
I, Musinguzi Daniel.
I, Mugisha Dominic Mark.
I, Valikowa Stephen.
I, Ntende Moses Joseph.
I, Kiria Simon.
I, Job Wambete.
I, Hamdan Mwonge Nsamba.
I, Sendagire John Paul.
I, Okech Innocent.
I, Joe Julia Mutiova.
Please put your right hand up. And then read, start from do hereby, all at once, please.
Yes, based on my own knowledge and belief, abide to all provisions contained in the Engineers Registration Act, Cap 29, and constitutions and bylaws made and be after, including the Code of Conduct, 6, currently operating on the vote to time. Without compromising the standards, procedure, and ethics which an engineer is required to. That I solemnly pledge myself to consecrate my life to the service of humanity. I will be loyal to engineering profession, just and generous to its members, lead my life and practice my profession with fairness, honor, and dignity during execution projects, and further that the project shall be executed from the best of mankind and the best of my knowledge, ability, and professionalism. That I shall endeavor to exercise my profession solely for the benefit of humanity, no act of humanity, even if such avoid disinformation or criminal acts. That I shall be against evil and just forces wherever and wherever I encounter them. Will not permit actions of injustice, society, race, party politics, and social standing, which will recognize my duty, my work as human.
Okay, thank you. You're going to say this last part individually. That I,
Chobeju Tedious, make this oath affirmation consciously believing that the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
the Muslims say affirmation, then the Christians say oath. Just one of the two.
That I, Chizito Bruce, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Dr. Kangwaje Samuel, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Karamina James, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Chitaka Michael, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Chalimpo Brian, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Zimbe Pafula Bigambo, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Rosinana Bright Duncan, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Atwairo Hilary Dami, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Musingus Daniel, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mugisha Dominic Mark, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Valika Stephen, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Ntende Moses Joseph, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Kyria Simon, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Wambete Job, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true in accordance with Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Samba Mwonge Hamdan, make this affirmation conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and the Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Sendagire John Paul, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Okech Innocent, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mutiaba Julia, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act. I sign off.
All right. Congratulations. You can hand over the papers to Council.
Congratulations. You can pass the other table and get your certificate for registration. Congratulations once again. I saw my friend Chiria. Today I thought I'm going to see Chiria putting on a suit for the first time. Chiria, first come. These are my friends. Now, these are the engineers I was telling you about, even on this occasion. Today I was happy he's going to put on a suit, but he has disappointed me once again. We want to discourage you from always putting on like this. But he's a good friend of mine, Chiria. Congratulations. So we shall go to the next. Juko Elias Yasin, Okurut Kenan, Doctor, Tukamwachira Godfrey, Agi Omagol Brian. Hey, this is Juko. This one used to be my friend. Please, we separated. So Juko, congratulations. Agi Omagol Brian, Biamukama Richard, Mwije Philemon, Lutaya Ronald, Herrera James Biaruhanga, Sekabemba Umaru, Rwabogo Jocelyn Rwakakoko. This one is even my neighbor, but when she got registered, she has even never come to shake hands with me. And these are my friends. These are the I call friends. That one there, that one. No, she's there coming. Let us see if she'll shake my hand today. Huh? But that is my neighbor. We share offices near each other. Kusemerera Charles, Kanyerezi Nicholas, Mugoya Peterson, Bukenya Ismail, Tenywa Emmanuel, Dr. Tumwesije Emmanuel, Arishaba Agre, Nanyunja Sulaiman Habiba, Kabuye Enos, and Kasumba Dennis. I am going to keep my mic so that you all do your chorus. I will not pick one person because others keep quiet. So when you are doing chorus, I'm going to keep my mic here.
Are there any Muslims in the group? Okay, you're going to do the same thing, yeah? Like the last group. Just say I and your name.
I, Kabuye Enos. I, Arshava Agre.
I, Doreen Gift Bojengo.
I, Tenywa Emmanuel.
I, Nanyunja Habiba Sulaiman.
I, Tumwesiji Emmanuel.
I, Bukenya Ismail. I, Kanyerezi Nicholas.
I, Philemon Mwije.
I, Jocelyn Rakakoko Rapogo.
I, Kusemerera Charles. I, Biamukama Richard.
I, Sekabemba Umar.
I, Lutaya Ronald.
I, Herrera James Biarahanga.
I, Dr. Kurut Kenan.
I, Juko Elias Yasin.
I, Kasumba Dennis.
Okay. All together, do hereby. We shall read the last part individually. That I,
Kawie Enos, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Arshava Agule, make this oath consciously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Doreen Gift Bujingo, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
Semuga John Paul, Omoding Stephen, Sali Ismail, Kasana Kasim, Basaja Solo Patrick Kabito. These are also works in the UPTC. Now we have. Why are these people overlooking swearing? We have and they march majestically in the room. Webare Benon, Odo Ifilemon Kowod, Besije Enos, Momuzato, Matuko Kiza Ronald, Miss Riza Martin, Dr. Approach Mary, Emuna Charles Daniel, Semfuka Godfrey, Kelo Joseph Moses, Sankara James,
Mugume Nicholas, Abaganyire Sylvia, Semera Stephen, Omunyokol Omongen Moses, Kisule Henry, and Bashu Shah Narandas.
believing the same to be true and according with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Okara Joseph Moses, make this oath, conscientiously believing the same and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act. That I, Sefka Godfrey, make this oath, conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Omniokol Omomin Moses, make this oath, conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Bashu Tushad Mohandas, make this oath, conscientiously believing the same to be true in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Dr. Aprod Mary, make this oath, conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Sankara James, makes this oath, conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath
and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mrs. Martin, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Chisule Henry Simon, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Wamboga Abraham, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Muhumza Tom, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Odoi Philemon Powori, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Webale Benon, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true in accordance with the oath and Statutory Declarations Act. That I, Besje Enoth, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Sir Ismail, make this affirmation consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Kasana Kasim, make this affirmation conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Abaganyire Sylvia, makes this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Omoding Stephen, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Basajan Soro Patrick Kavito, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
Congratulations. Please hand over the reforms and head to the other table for registration.
Congratulations, engineers. Go to the other table, pick your certificate. So the next lot. John Paul Semuga, Angura Robinson, Semukutu Sheila Anita, Okochi Johnson, Nabisere Laura Mulondo, Wasige Richard, Luimbaze Humphrey Nicholas, Okatayot Patrick, Muleme Isaac, Luswata Elvis, Kasule David, Kato Joseph Haman, Mwesije Godwin Tayebwa, Kamba Alan, Mugema Frank, Betungura Arnold, Rendeire Andrew, Turiachira Andrew, Okelo Daniel, Mubangizi Alozias, Tumwijuche Cosmas, where is Cosmas? Yeko Karo. That's it.
Say I. Mention your name.
I, Rwendire Andrew.
I, Mwesije Godwin Taewa. I, Tumujiche Cosmas.
I, Yeko Karo.
I, Mbanjiza Alozias.
I, Daniel Okello.
I, Turiachira Andrew.
I, Betungura Arnold.
I, Luswata Elvis.
I, Kato Joseph Haman.
I, Anita Sheila Semukutu.
I, Okoch Johnson.
I, John Paul Semoga.
I, Okatayot Patrick.
I, Kasule David.
I, Muleme Isaac.
I, Wasige Richard.
I, Mugema Frank.
I, Nabisere Laura Mulondo.
I, Humphrey Nicholas Luimbas.
All together, do hereby. The last part, that I,
Ruendire Andrew, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mwesije Godwin Taebwa, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Tumusho Cosmas, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Yeko Karo, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Wanzalesius, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Okello Daniel, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Triachira Andrew, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Arnold Betungura, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Luswata Elvis, make this oath and affirmation conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Kato Joseph Herman, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Anita Sheila Semukutu, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and the Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Okoch Johnson, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Semuga John Paul, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Oketayot Patrick, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Kasule David, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and the Statutory Declarations Act.
that I, Muleme Isaac, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Wasige Richard, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mugema Frank, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Nabisere Laura Molondo, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Humphrey Nicholas Limbazi, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
Congratulations. Please hand over the forms to Council.
Congratulations once again. I'm seeing my friend Semukutu. That one used to be my friend. We went to Egypt together. She has forgotten about me. I used to have friends. Patrick used to be my friend, but this one we are still friends. Then I've seen Cosmas. Cosmas, nice to see you. This Cosmas was a young man. I remember he talked to me when he was about to, you were selecting a course or you were in which class that time? He was in second year. I talked to him that time about registration. Now see my products. I think he's among the youngest in the group. Congratulations. So congratulations, people. Let us get the next lot. Nabagala Sise. Nabagala is supposed to be my friend, but she sits very far from me. Seruyange Livingstone Kato, Akuguziwe Alan Timothy, Semvuma Edward, Dr. Achidri Samuel, Namuswa Victoria Florence, Rwaboni Alec Abraham, Owini Stephen, Tugumi Sirize Eldad, Kinyera Camila Skem, Kisoro Samuel, Turiasingura Medad, Akelo Charlotte, Bianguye Ivan, Mutale Peter, Egesa Davis, Kakuru Paul, Hope Stella, Bonyoko Ngobi Painento, Musime Prosper Vans, Ojik Sunday, Orijabo Albert, Mutabazi Twagira Peterson, and Babeyo Shafik.
You say I and your name.
I, Akela Charlotte.
I, Mutale Peter.
I, Shafik Babeyo.
I, Bunyoko Ngoi Painento.
I, Seruyange Livingstone Kato.
I, Raboni Alec Abraham.
I, Semvuma Edward.
I, Tugumesi Zerdad.
I, Chinyera Camila Chem.
I, Kakul Paul.
I, Owino Stephen.
I, Dr. Achidri Samuel.
I, Nabagala Sise.
I, Turiasi Medad.
I, Davis Egesa.
I, Kisoro Samuel.
I, Ivan Bianguye.
I, Orijabo Albert.
I, Ogik Sande.
I, Hope Stella.
Then all together, do hereby. Now the last part, that I
Akelo Charlotte, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mutale Peter, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Shafiq Babeyo, make this affirmation conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Bonyoko Ngoi Painento, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and the Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Seriange Livingstone Kato, make this oath conscientiously believing that the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Rabboni Alec Abraham, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Semvoma Edad, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Tugumesi Zeridad, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Kinyera Camillus Chem, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and the Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Kakulu Paulu, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Owino Stephen, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Dr. Achiri Samuel, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Nawagala Sise, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and the Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Turiasingura Medad, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Egesa Davis, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Kisoro Samuel, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Bianguye Ivan, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Orijabo Albert, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Ogik Sande, make this oath consciously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Hope Stella, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
Congratulations, and please hand over the forms to council. Then proceed to...
Congratulations. Please remember to pick your license, your certificate. Then UAY 189Z. You are blocking a colleague who has an emergency. UAY 189Z. Next, we have Katamba Raymond, Namutete Pius, Magulu John Baptist, Mohanji Robert, Dr. Musinguzi Wilson Babu, Mutiaba Robert, Mukabya Robert, Ankunda Jime, Namugwe Marianne, Kemigisha Joan, Omara Walter Lewis, Rukundo Kenneth, Abonga Alfred, Arinetwe Wencelas, Asimwe Joshua, Mugisha Augustine Mubangizi, Buchirwa Winfred, Atwine Jeroline, Ahura Albert, Matovu John, Irumba Oscar, Okeni David, Yongule Justus, and Lomilo Calvin Doan.
I, then say your name.
I, Iromba Oscar.
I, Lamilo Calvin Dewan.
I, Matovu John.
I, Ahura Albert.
I, Omara Walter Luis.
I, Arinecho Wenceslas.
I, Gena Andrew.
I, Asema Joshua.
I, Namugwe Marianne.
I, Rukundo Kenneth.
I, Magulu John Baptist.
I, Mukabya Robert.
I, Namtete Pius.
I, Dr. Msinguzi Wilson Babu.
I, Abon Alfred Alexis.
I, Muhanji Robert.
I, Mugisa Augustine Mubanjizi.
I, Winfred Bukira.
Okay, all together, do hereby. Last part.
The oath as statutory declaration. Oath as statutory declarations act.
That I, Omara Walter Luis, make this oath consciously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Arinecho Wenceslas, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declaration Act.
I, Gena Andrew, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act. That I, Asima Joshua, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Namugwe Marianne, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Rukundo Kenneth, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Magulu John Baptist, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Mukabya Robert, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to the true in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Namtete Pius, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Dr. Msinguzi Wilson Babu, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Abon Alfred Alexis, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mohanji Robert, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mogisa Augustine Mubanjizi, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Winfred Bukira, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
Congratulations. Please hand over the forms to Council, then proceed to the main table.
Congs again. And we have a meal. After this, we are going to have a party. Please don't go away. I'm told some engineers are rushing to leave. The registrar served a meal, and a family that eats together stays together. So we shall have a meal. Next, Ayebaziwe Bless, Dushime Derek Zungu, Nakwera Luce, Semakula Abraham, Joko Adrian, Owinyi John Paul, Banafamu Ian, Barunji Eugene, Chohaire Jennifer, Tukahira Gerazio, Gena Andrew, Oidu Simon Peter, Shemerere Anita, Seguja Paul, Majegere Abel, Ariong Francis, Obonyo Luke, Akankwansa Dennis, Oruotho Angela, Ouga Alan Dinkins, Ahereza Gilbert.
Hi.
I, Shemer Anita.
I, Mugejela Abel.
Hi, Howin John Paul.
I, Banafam Ian.
I, Chohairwe Jennifer.
I, Semakula Abraham.
I, Seguja Paul.
I, Barunji Eugene.
I, Dushime Zungu Derek.
I, Juko Adrian.
I, Obonyo Luke.
I, Ouga Alan Dickens.
I, Ayebazwe Bless.
I, Nyakwera Lucy.
I, Dennis Akankwasa.
I, Ariango Francis.
I, Orotho Angela.
I, Ahereza Gilbert.
Okay. All together, do hereby. That I
Shemere Anita, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mugejera Abel, make this oath consciously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Owen John Paul, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Banafam Ian, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Chohairwe Jennifer, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Semakula Abraham, make this oath affirmation conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Seguja Paul, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Barungi Eugene, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Dushime Zungu Derek, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Juko Adrian, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Obonyo Luke, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Olga Alan Dickens, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Ayabas Webness, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Nyakwera Lucy, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Akankwasa Dennis, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Ariongo Francis, make this oath consciously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Orotho Angela Achirochan, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Ahereza Gilbert, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true in accordance with Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
Congratulations. Please hand over the forms to Council. Then proceed to the registration table.
Congs again. Congs to Lucy again. Lucy presented the paper at the WED. Congs. And I encourage you to present papers. Be involved. So, Congs, Lucy. So, next, Tugume Ellison Bob, Andama Ronald Bileti, Mafabi Grace, Auma Tom Edward, Kakoto Dennis, Masamba Pinto, Nelima Anita, Kobugabe Brenda, Mbigo Nicholas, Ndikubwimana Agre, Bwambale Jonathan, Gira Augustine, Kizgozi Brian Michael, Ochakachon Simon, Mubiru David, Kamukama Ivan, Matovu Mwonge Ronald, Maseruka Michael James, Lukwago Brian, Mfitumukiza Emmanuel, Naika Richard Basime, Abenaitwe Felbert, Bido Frank. We are about to finish and have our dinner. So that's the group.
I and your name.
I, Abenito Feubert.
I, Bido Frank.
I, Matovu Mwonge Ronald.
I, Mfitumuchiza Emmanuel.
Brenda Kovgabe. I, Brenda Kovgabe.
I, Mubiru David. I, Lukwago Brown.
I, Gira Augustine.
I, Ndikubwimana Agre.
I, Michael James Maseruka.
I, Kakota Dennis.
I, Mafabi Grace.
I, Kamukama Ivan.
I, Uchakachon Simon.
I, Andama Ronald Bileti.
I, Anita Nilima.
I, Masamba Pinto.
I, Aguma Tom Edward.
I, Tugume Harrison Bob.
I, Jonathan Mwambari.
I, Chigozi Brian Michael.
I, Mbigo Nicholas.
I, Naika Richard Basime.
All together, do hereby. That I,
Abenito Feubert, make this oath, conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Bido Frank, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Matovu Mwonge Ronald, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mfitumuchiza Emmanuel, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Brenda Kovgabe, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mubiru David, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Gira Augustine, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Lukwago Brown, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Ndikubwimana Agre, make this oath
conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Michael James Maseruka, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Kakoto Dens, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mafabi Grace, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Kamukama Ivan, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Uchakachon Simon, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Andama Ronald Belletti, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Nelima Anita, make this oath conscientiously believing that the same to be true and in accordance with Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Masamba Pinto, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Agumatom Edward, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Acts.
That I, Tugume Ellison Bob, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Bwambale Jonathan, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Chigozi Brian Michael, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Mbigo Nicholas, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Naika Richard Basime, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
Congratulations. Please hand over the forms to council and proceed to the table.
Kongs again. UBJ 326T, you blocking someone who has who needs to go. UBJ 326T, go and unblock. The next, Nafula Grace Manjeri, Ruama Daudi, Wokorach Stephen, Achelu Emmanuel, Yazokire Julius, Namutebe Lilian, Lumala Apollo, Serunjoji Nasa, Odware Stephen, Sekisaka John Paul, Oki Robert, Gwaivu Abe, Ochen Charles, Alinga Sisto. Alinga Sisto is my friend from Napak. Dr. Yigaviani Andrew, Turia Mureba Chris, Olinga Peter, Mukonyezi Isaac, Sebitosi David, Waiswa Ronald, Basika Elisa. Namutebe Lilian is not my friend.
I, your name?
I, Sevitosi David.
I, Rubwama Daudi.
I, Waiswa Ronald.
I, Lumala Apollo.
I, Alinga Sistolo Dukan.
I, Ochen Charles.
I, okay, Robert.
I, Gaviani Andrew.
I, Emmanuel Achilo.
I, Sechisaka John Paul.
I, Serunjoji Nasa.
I, Gwaivu Abe.
I, Yazoshe Julius Plaka.
I, Nafula Grace Manjeri.
I, Wagoraj Stephen.
I, Turiamareva Chris.
I, Odwari Stephen Oduratao.
I, Olinga Peter.
I, Namtevi Lilian.
I, Mukonyezi Isaac.
I, Basika Elisa.
All together, do hereby
against evil, just practices, wherever and whenever I encounter them, will not permit considerations on religious, nationality, race, party, politics, and social standing with compromise my duty and my works even under threat.
That I, Sebitosi David, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Rwama Daudi, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Waiswa Ronald, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Lumala Apollo, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Alinga Sisto Lodukan, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Ochen Charles, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, OK Robert, make this oath conscientiously, believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Yigaviani Andrew, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Emmanuel Achelu, making this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Secretariat John Paul, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Deductions Act.
That I, Serunja Jinasa, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Guaiv Abe, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Yazo Julius Plaka, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Nafula Grace Manjeri, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Wagoraj Stephen, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Turiamareva Chris, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Oduare Stephen Oduratao, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oath and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Olinga Peter, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Namtebilian, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declaration Act.
That I, Mukonyezi Isaac, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
That I, Basika Elisa, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act.
Congratulations, and please hand over the forms to council and proceed to the main table.
Congratulations. I see my friends. Lillian Namutev is my friend. I thought Lillian is also a district engineer, but she didn't come. Nafula, we are together in Cairo. Congratulations. So we are going to have the last lot. Sonko Ernest, Akorio Ibrahim, Juko Najib, Tugume Sheba Musimenta, Kabwa Wycliffe, Kakuru Richard, Chakwade Robert, Okelo Emmanuel, Otim Alvin, Atukunda Alex, Segirinya Charles, Nkaka Lukanyi Silas, Ahebwa Crinard, Segawa Richard, Aremo Andrew, Bujingo Dorin Gift, Dongo Isaiah Frederick, Tumusime John Bosco, Musobo Joseph, Timbe Joseph, Dr. Menya, Ocho Paul Joram. If there is anyone missing, you haven't taken oath, please come to my table. Semuga John Paul, can you approach my table? Semuga John Paul, there is an issue with your oath. Semuga John Paul.
I, state your name.
I, Tumusime John Bosco.
I, Segawa Richard Joel.
I, Sonko Ernest.
I, Dongo Isaiah Frederick.
I, Musobo Joseph Bukose.
I, Joko Najib.
I, Krina Dahewa.
I, Chakwa de Robert.
I, Aremo Andrew Alele. I, Alex Atkunda.
I, Otim Alvin.
I, Akorio Ibrahim Majembe.
I, Kakuru Richard.
I, Tugume Shiba Musimenta.
I, Kabwa Wycliffe.
I, Nkakalukanyi Silas.
I, Okelo Emmanuel Anam.
I, Segirinya Charles Luanga.
I, Timbe Joseph Boy.
I, Dr. Menya Emmanuel.
All together, do hereby. That I
Tumsime John Bosco, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Segawa Richard Joel, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declarations act.
That I, Sonko Ernest, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Dongo Isaiah Frederick, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Musobo Joseph Bukose, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declaration act.
That I, Joko Najib, make this affirmation conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Krina Dahebwa, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declarations act.
That I, Chakwadi Robert, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declaration act.
That I, Aremo Andrew Alele, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declarations act.
That I, Atkunda Alex, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declarations act.
That I, Otim Alvin, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Akorio Ibrahim Majembe, make this affirmation conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declaration act.
That I, Kakuru Richard, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declarations act.
That I, Tugume Shiba Musimenta, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Kawa Wycliffe, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Kakalukanyi Silas, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declaration act.
That I, Okele Emmanuel Anam, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and statutory declarations act.
That I, Segirinya Charles Luanga, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Timbe Joseph Boyo, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oaths and statutory declarations act.
That I, Dr. Menya Emmanuel, make this oath conscientiously believing the same to be true and in accordance with the oath and the statutory declarations act.
Congratulations. Hand over the forms to council and proceed to registration table.
Congs again. Congratulations. I can see my friend Ernest Sonko. He was the best graduating student 4 years ago, and he got an award. Now, within 4 years, he's registered. Can we please appreciate Song? Can you wave? This young man, 4 years ago, I gave him a medal. Not that I've been around a long time, but he got a medal 4 years ago. Now he's graduating. Regina has also joined us. Regina, people have been looking for you. Come and wave to the people. Regina has also been supporting registration at UIPE. I want to confess that I also handed my records went through her. It doesn't mean that she has been around for long, but my registration papers, she's the one who processed them. But she's a young girl. She has been around for a short time. But me, I've been here for 10 years. So Regina, thanks for supporting us. Me, I've been in this seat for 10 years. So members, congratulations again. I think now we need to eat. We need to make merry. We are going to take pictures. I encourage all the ladies to take pictures with me. I'm available. Gentlemen can take pictures with their colleagues. So let us take pictures. DJ, you are going to give us some music. This is a day of celebration. We also have dinner. So ERB team, can we set up the tables? Let us, are they set, the table set up? Can we start serving? So we are serving food, but please feel at home. Talk to each other. Hey, don't eat. We are going to bless the food first. So who is going to bless our meal? Huh? We have a pastor in the house. Okay, we are going to bless the meal, then we shall eat. Pastor.
Thank you, sir. Engineer. Praise God. Let us humble ourselves and bless the food. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, we want to thank you. Thank you for this wonderful day. We glorify your name. We bless our food and everything we are going to eat and drink. Let it be of a blessing to our bodies. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name I've prayed.
Thank you, Pastor. We also want to thank the Commissioner for Oath, who also is a lawyer. She has chambers, Kiza Kwanza. So please feel free, even after this oath, if you have any legal requirements, any things to do with the law, if you have any cases, I think they can come to Kiza Kwanza. But you have to pay. ERB doesn't pay for you. Kiza Kwanza can still support you. At least she knows us engineers. So let us feel at home. DJ, give us some music. You are now free to gallivant. And congratulations once again. Don't be lost. Please look out for the registrar. Say hello to me. Make my phone busy. Let us continue the chat. Kongs again, and have a lovely evening. Thank you.
Can we brag about to go door? Can we do it for the rest of the day today? When I start to talk about God, you will need to know the man I speak so highly of. That man can change your life from zero to hero in no time. He can take you from the grass to your grace in no time. He's a man of his word, oh, as faithful as he says so. You will not see him changing, no. At your weakest, he is strong, oh. When you're blinded, he still sees, oh. You will not see him changing. So can we brag about to God, oh? Can we do it for the rest of the day today? God, we love and love and love you. We love you.